Welcome to the Leadership Challenge Show, coming to you from EBN TV, brought to you by Reverend Felix Kavoi. Leadership in our time is a great challenge. We live in a country that also has challenges of leadership. As a station, as a television channel, we are oriented to transformation. We look for those things that will change our society into the society that will bring joy to the people. Not only in this country, but worldwide, we continue to encounter leadership challenges. We begin to discuss and to find out how can we overcome these challenges in our time, and how can we see the leaders that we have do for the people and lead the groups they are leading to their desired goals. Many people are living their whole lives and coming to the point of departure from this world without seeing the fulfillment of the promises that were promised by leaders. What is wrong with leadership in our time? The leadership that we have, some of it is sought when people go out and look for elected positions. We want to be discussing today about the challenges that we have in leadership, and helping us to discuss these challenges and how we can overcome them is Reverend Ken Akweyu, the senior pastor of Buruburu Baptist Church. We have our guest in the studio together with us to help us discuss the leadership challenges that we have in our time. Reverend Ken Akweyu, please say hello to us and then we continue.
Good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much for finding time to be together with us in talking about the challenge of leadership. Maybe to start us off, we need to ask ourselves and help us to answer this question. Many people that are in leadership, do they understand the challenge they have when they are called leaders? If somebody has run out a whole campaign and has become a leader in a constituency or in a county, and they have finally occupied the office, do the majority of the leaders that we have understand the burden and the challenge that is upon them as leaders? Welcome.
Looking at the leadership that we have in different, particularly when you are looking at our country, different counties, different wards, you find that most of our leaders may not have fully grasped what it is really to be a leader. They have not looked at what challenges they may encounter as they enter the space of leadership.
Yes.
The reason being that we have made leadership to look as something that we go for position, we go for prestige,
yes,
we go for just power for the sake of power, not knowing that there are things that a leader is expected to do for the people who have elected him. Even at home, when you become a father, sometimes some of us men may not necessarily know what it really entails to be a father before they get married. It's because of pressure, they get themselves a wife, but when challenges of leadership come, they do not know what to do. And that sometimes also we find ourselves having leaders in our churches who have simply gone through a theological school. They have not studied what it really means to be a leader, and of course they also just want to be called pastors. They are in the position of a pastor, a bishop, or whatever it is, without really understanding what does it entail to be a leader, and after being a leader, are there challenges?
So
Because we just think things will go.
It is
smooth.
true that many leaders do not understand what they are up to, and some of them are just enjoy the position.
Some of them just enjoy the position, as you rightly said in your introduction. Some of them buy leadership.
Oh,
Because of having money, I can influence a whole population, a whole community, because I'm a benevolent man, and people think leadership is about being benevolent, not knowing that leadership is offering solutions to this circumstances and the situations we find ourselves in when crises come.
Wonderful analysis of the leadership challenge that we have in our time. Maybe we need to move on and help us to understand what is leadership.
Leadership, as I've been reading from people who have written so much about leadership and find leadership, I find one person whom I have learned a lot from in terms of leadership issues, called John C. Maxwell, and he gives it a very, very brief, very concise definition. He says leadership is influence.
Leadership is influence.
Yes, that's
powerful.
Yes, that is the capacity or the ability to be able to help people change their character, change their goals, change their perspective in the ways they look at things, and probably follow that leader in the things the leader or the cause the leader wants to accomplish for his community or for his church.
Maybe to go further about influence, is it possible to influence people to go to a place you don't know where you are taking them? So that brings us to the question, do many leaders know where they are taking people?
That will definitely mean that you must therefore be a leader who has a vision.
The leader must be visionary.
Yes,
Please go further and explain this.
A vision is where you want to go.
Yes.
And therefore you have to know how to go to where you are going.
Yes.
In other words, you have therefore to have goals. You have goals of taking you to that place that you want to become. What you want your organization to become, what you want your family to become, what you want the church to become. You are not yet there yet, but you are striving and endeavoring to be there. But you have to know, how am I going to be there? So you put not just a vision, but you have goals, and on these goals, you put legs on the goals, you have steps on how to be able to reach to where you are going.
So you put it right to say that a leader is one who knows where the group is going.
Yes.
He has to know where the group is going. And so in leadership day by day, he must strive to make sure he is taking the group to their desired goals. And when you assess leadership, like in our country, Kenya, are many leaders taking people to their desired goals?
Do they even have a desired goal in the first place?
Oh.
Most of what I see is our leaders just attending funerals.
Oh.
Contributing to funerals, benevolence, and not being able to say yes by the end of year 2020.
Yes.
As a leader, this is where I want my people to be, or my constituency to be. This is what we should have achieved as a country, as a church. So when you know that, then you look for resources, you look for ways and means of being able to help the congregation, to help the community to be able to achieve that which you have said to achieve as a leader.
So we can rightly say that to be a leader, you must have clear goals.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say that.
You really need to have goals are just simply the steps through which you are able to reach your vision.
Yes.
Sometimes as you have these goals, you find you may get into headwinds.
Yes, yes.
You may get yourself into situations you had not anticipated, and it will kind of disrupt your whole thinking, your whole setup, your year planner and things like that.
Yes.
So as a leader, you need to step back and see, what else should I do? How then should I navigate what I am going through? Just as we are speaking, we are living at a time when there is a pandemic, which has hit almost every part of the world.
Yes, yes.
I know there are people who had said by the year 2020 I'll do this. By the year 2020 they had decided.
We started the year with very powerful songs of 2020.
Yes, 2020.
You remember?
Yes, 2020.
Yes.
And these are people who really had, for all good intents and purposes, had calls.
Yes.
But sometimes you find your vision.
Your vision.
Cast in stone.
This
is, you know, this is where we have to be.
Exactly.
Your goals.
Yes.
Because of the changing circumstances that you didn't expect, you can change your goals.
You can change your
still
goals.
Reach where you want to go. For example, as I was coming down here,
yes,
if I was to encounter a roadblock,
yes,
at the market, I should think, how else can I reach here?
Yes.
Should I insist I have to go through this route? I can go back to
the other way.
The other way.
And go around.
And go around. And I can go back to the other way and
still arrive at the same.
Here.
Okay.
Without changing my destination, but I've changed my goal.
That's good.
That is what a good leader needs to do. When unexpected things happen, as you are trying to reach your vision, then you can change your goals, but still maintain your vision.
Before we move on to a different area altogether, I see many people taking up leadership. Every day people are appointed to take up leadership in various ministries, in churches, in organization. So the first thing that leader must do if he is going to help the organization or help the people, maybe it's even a member of parliament or a member of a county assembly, before he takes up the office, what are some of the things he needs to do so that he may take that organization or that constituency or that ward to their desired goals? What are some of the things they need to do?
Yes, to understand the needs.
Yes.
Of that community.
And that's good.
Understanding the needs, then understanding how am I able, or how can we collectively as a community be able to achieve our vision, be able to sort out the needs that my constituents, my church, my family, whatever group of people that you are leading. So
you are saying it begins by the leader understanding the needs of the organization or the people that he wants to lead.
Yes.
Yes.
And these are not just felt needs.
Yes.
These have to be real needs.
Real needs.
Because a felt need is, for example, I have a story from the Bible.
Yes.
The man at the Beautiful Gate. His felt need was to be given money. As he was speaking.
That was the felt need.
But the real need was this man to be able to get himself to walk.
The healing.
The healing.
Okay.
And therefore, John and Peter and John, they did not look at the felt need, the apparent need. They saw the actual need. The real need of this person was not the alms. The real need of this person was to be empowered, to be able to fend for himself without depending on people.
That's right.
The problem that we have is a pecker mentality that we, our leaders, put people in so that people will think they are good people who give them alms, so that every year, come election time, they can be re-elected. So you find we are not doing what we ought to do, empowering the people to be part of the development. Instead, we want to be needed. If I am not there, things cannot work. Yet things are not working. So we need to have the people who understand
the real
need of the people before then looking for solutions to those needs.
And I felt like you came very close to really describing our problem in our society, because it appears that we have become a society that enjoys the handouts, the alms that can be given, without a realization that there could be more than the handouts that we are receiving.
Yes.
You can say something.
And that is where the real problem is.
Yes.
Give me 20,000 shillings today.
Yes.
To pay my rent. Then what? Next
Okay.
month, will you be able to give me 20,000 to pay my rent?
No, not
will
every
you be
day.
able to give me 5,000 to go to hospital?
Nobody
to
has
pay
all
my
that
hospital
money.
bid?
Yeah.
Nobody has all that money.
Yes.
And in fact, you now, if you keep going, you become a burden to people. So I need a leader who will put policies and structures in place where I can be able to be empowered or empower the people to fend for themselves, to think, create an atmosphere that enables the people to use their skills, to use their talents, to use their knowledge in to be able to produce, to make wealth. Listen to what God is telling people in Deuteronomy.
Yes.
He's telling them, I am the one who gives you the ability to make wealth. So it is not the ability to beg for wealth.
No.
It is the ability to
make wealth.
So why shouldn't we empower people and create an enabling environment where they can make wealth for themselves, other than depending or being dependent on the people, so that we can kill the beggar mentality. And that's why you will notice, as good as fundraising and this thing in our country is pulling resources together is good. What about when those resources have met that need?
Now, we are running out of time on this segment, but before we go for a short break, where is the foundation of leadership? Do we have scriptural foundation for leadership?
Well, when I look at the foundations of leadership, the source of leadership, the origin of leadership, is God himself.
Wow.
God himself. By starting to say, let there be. And when it was, he creates everything, puts everything in place, and puts man.
Yes.
To superintend, to take care, to watch over the resources, both natural resources, human resources, and all animal resources. We call them. He puts Adam.
Yes.
He tells them to give them names. He tells them in chapter 2,
yes,
in verse 15, to tend the curtain.
Yes.
He gives him a wife to help him achieve, which means leadership also has group dynamics.
Yes.
You need support from the people that you are leading to be able to achieve.
Exactly.
So then we find after that he goes on to call Abraham. And Abraham, we see him building an empire.
Yes.
Gideon is called.
Yes.
David is called. We see Daniel's. Those people, their leadership stems from God himself. And any other leadership stems from the fact that God, having created man, the earth and the fullness thereof is mine. That is what he says. After he has created this man, then he gives man the responsibility of leading.
Beautiful, beautiful. We are wrapping it there at this segment, and thank you so much, Reverend Ken Akweyu. You're helping us really understand leadership, but we have learned that leadership is influence. The leader has to know where the group is going and has to understand clearly the needs of the group or the organization for them to be able to help the organization. Of course, we are seeing a lot of leadership failures simply because some of them have not been able to look at these things so that when they begin to lead, they may lead from a point of understanding. There are people who are leading constituencies and they don't know the needs of those constituencies, and when they go there, they just give a few money for matangas and the people remain the same, and some of them actually come out of this life without seeing the goals that were promised by their leaders. We have also found that leadership comes from God. He is the originator. He is the one that begins leadership, and leadership begins there, and leadership is founded in Scripture. A short break and we will be back. Welcome back, my dear viewer, discussing the challenge of leadership today. With me in studio is Reverend Ken Akweyu, Senior Pastor, Buruburu Baptist Church. And we have been talking about who a leader is and what leadership is. But we want now to critically look at our current situation. when it comes to leadership. So the question I have, Reverend, is where are we today in terms of leadership? Looking at the political scenario, at family scenario or social scenario, look at religious scenario, where are we? Are we okay? Are we doing well? Or we are messed up? Where are we, Reverend?
Just to start by saying we are actually living in very challenging times where we didn't expect what is happening to happen. And we are living in a time where almost every leader was thrown into a kind of confusion.
Yeah.
So the mess begins from there. And then we find that we have found ourselves with challenges on our hands.
Yes.
And the challenges come probably, let me just say, from three sources. The source number one, which I think is those which come from the environmental things that you didn't expect. The people around you causing trouble for you. The challenge starts there. That is now the things that are all around us. And then there are those which are inward, those which are say internal, that affect the leader. The leader sometimes finds himself in the position and he finds really, is this what I was looking forward to? He finds the challenges are too many to be able to tackle.
So where are we?
So the problem therefore is we therefore have a society where calls are not being made, both in the churches, at homes, and in the country at large.
Yes.
Take an example for what we have been told when the government began the 4-point agenda.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be
the four big
agenda. Now we reached a level where we are not even talking about them. We are so confused. I don't think even some of the leaders at grassroots levels have understood it. And then we find ourselves, the pandemic has eaten into the budget. Then we find ourselves with corruption all over. Look at the KEMSA thing. Money meant for the sick being put into personal
and turning overnight millionaires.
They are called the COVID millionaires.
Yes.
And things like that. And it didn't begin with the COVID.
Yes.
The corruption has been a pandemic in itself in our country.
Let me ask you a question.
An endemic, so to speak.
Do we really hate bad leadership, or the society, as a society celebrated bad leadership, or where are we?
I think the society sometimes elects people who buy them, as we began by saying. The more money you have, the more you can harness people. People are in need. Give them a few shillings, and then you have put them on your side. Move to another place, buy them onto your side. To the point that they really don't even know. A few people will understand what they need. Not that everybody doesn't know. The majority who just want a quick fix. A quick fix. Don't understand that processes have to be put in place. And these processes have to be followed, and institutions have to be put in place. These institutions have to be respected, so that whatever we entrust our institutions with, the people leading those institutions have to bear fruit on what the entire nation, the entire church, the entire family or constituency needs to see as development in terms of where we want to be. But because of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, we find people don't even understand what they really need. They really think a leader is one who gives them, who comes and raises funds for them to build a school, to build a church. And sometimes you find that money does not even, an unfinished project. You go around, you find unfinished projects. Or they make promises, I will give this. They write even checks, which bounce. Come next election cycle, same people, same story. I don't know who bewitched Kenyans.
Definitely we are in a very, very interesting position as a society and as a country. And I don't know, in trying to answer this question, where we are today, as a society, when it comes to leadership, do we really want good leadership? Because I'm asking this because I know leaders that have messed up, but they seem to be, nobody is worried. It seems like nobody is worried about their messes. Because it bothers me to see a leader who is put in charge of a ministry or in charge of a kitty or in charge of a constituency. The leader is leading a whole ministry, let's say a government ministry, has been given all the allowances and all the personnel and all the resources to make sure the ministry is functioning. Money gets lost and the person is still innocent. Where are we when it comes to leadership?
Unfortunately, it looks like we have community thieves.
Oh,
so that when
that's
this
a big one now.
when this person is
Yes.
brought to account,
Yes.
when his mistakes are unearthed, so to speak,
Yes.
when there is a whistleblower who says things are not right,
Right.
then you find the villagers,
Yes.
the tribesmen, the clansmen with placards that we are being finished,
Yes.
protesting on behalf of this man, whether he has been proven guilty or not,
Yeah.
so that the government reaches to a point where they cannot call him to account because he has a whole battalion of people who don't even know what is happening defending him. So once we begin to defend thieves in the name of our communities being finished, as we have always seen, how do you then have to have these people account for the monies they were given? Because it is true money has been lost.
Yeah.
And then we are told there is no evidence. Because, again, justice has been bought.
Okay, tell me something about leadership being a responsibility. Because it appears like the leadership we have in our time has no responsibility. Money is lost when you are in charge and you are okay. Even if we were not to charge you for any money you have, let's say you are not a thief, but money has been lost under your watch. Should we really take you to put some responsibility on you, even if it is negligence, but at least the person who is at the top must take some responsibility? Is leadership responsibility, and are we exercising it in this country?
You will hear a lot about that, because then when this person, and we know them, we see them being arrested.
Yes.
Some of these people have been arrested. But when they are arrested, when they are taken to integrity center for, in our case, integrity center,
Yes.
you see a crowd following
Them,
this
yes.
man. And then we have the law which says one is innocent until proven
guilty.
Are you seeing? So we now start the process of proving him guilty, and it goes on and on and on until we get lost somewhere. We don't even know now. So and so was arrested sometime for this crime. How far is the case? So you find if people have not been charged for what they have done, the Bible teaches and says, if a matter is not speedily punished,
Yes.
it behooves, it encourages other people to commit the same crimes. Because criminal offenses, corruption was not from the very beginning of the governments that was not punished. We have now bigger, mega corruption cases that the government sometimes feel unable to deal with. And unfortunately, when that is happening, when investigations go in, you
Yes.
find you even who instituted the investigation, the threat begins to point to you. So what do? Will you allow that case to go on?
You just let it go.
You just let it go.
So help me understand and help my viewer understand, where does guilt begin?
Guilt
Because
should
we
be-
say you are not guilty until you are proven guilty, but where does guilt begin? Isn't it guilty for you to be in charge and the money is lost? The money is not there, it has disappeared. and you were the one, like let's say now you were told, watch over these goats here, and you are the one who is responsible. Now the goats have disappeared. They are not there. Are you still innocent? And the goats are not there. Okay, you might not have stolen the goats, but are you innocent? Please help us understand.
Therefore, somebody has said again. Let me quote my my friend John Maxwell.
Yes.
Who says leadership stops at the door. It begins and anything that happens begins and ends with leadership.
Yes.
So me, who is in charge? Surely, if I am a godly leader,
yes,
I must say, brethren, brothers and sisters, these things have happened over my watch.
Yes.
I am unable to deal with this.
Yes.
Please allow me to step down. Investigate me.
But do you see that happening?
Unfortunately, we have
Yes.
had our leaders say, I would rather die.
I'm not resigning. Yes.
And we say, in Africa, people don't resign, even when they know that money has been lost, even when they know they are culpable. We still hang on there.
Yes.
And when people see that, other smaller people see that nothing is happening, what will stop them from being thieves themselves?
So what we are finding out is that society encourages bad leadership.
Society does.
So do you see us coming out of bad leadership in the near future when the society is this way? And what can we do?
The most unfortunate thing that I want to say that is happening is that even the leadership at the church level,
Yeah.
the religious
leaders themselves. Yes.
who should be the salt
Yes.
and the light, have been found also culpable.
Culpable.
The majority of them, the ones that people look to, and then they become the bad example. Even if so and so did it, why not?
Okay.
When you are a Christian leader, when you are a church leader, and you get to be given money with a corrupt leader, and
Yes.
you know, and you still want to tell me that you will sanctify that money.
Yes.
When this person does something wrong,
Yes.
who has given you money,
Yes.
are you in a position to correct him?
To rebuke them.
You can't.
Yes.
I look at Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yes.
When the king says he will give them food, they say, no, we shall not take the food of the king. We shall not,
defile ourselves.
We shall not defile ourselves with this meat and this wine.
Yes.
Just give us water and vegetables. When the time of testing came, they could not find anything in them because they had not partaken of the king's food. Unfortunately, the men of God, the men of the cloth,
Yes.
the clergy, so to speak, the religious,
Which you are one of them.
I am.
Yes.
We have found ourselves taking from bad leaders,
Yes.
bringing them to do fundraisings for us.
Yes.
And when they have done that, do you think you will put them to account?
No,
We'll
it's
ask
not
you, but
possible.
remember, part of the money, build your church.
Yes.
So we really need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Sometimes we pray, but sometimes I also feel we should get out of just prayer
Yeah. And act.
and act.
Yeah.
Even if it means resigning if you are found culpable.
Yes, yes.
If you find yourself that the Lord has helped you, you are clean. Even if it means leading a people who can, by the way, let me tell you, protests are not evil.
Of course they are not.
Unfortunately, we have taken protests as opposition.
No.
The fact is that you are making your voice known. For example, when you say, when we say the people want to legalize abortion,
Yes.
and you just sit in the church praying, it
Yes.
will not help.
Yes.
It is until you have mobilized
rise up
people,
and
tell
make
people,
your voice
make your voice known.
To be heard.
When
Yes.
corruption is going on,
Yes.
make your voice known. And when we make our voice known,
Yes.
people will begin to see even the Christian leaders are making their voices known. These are people we can look to
Yes.
for direction. Otherwise, we shall go on in this quagmire
Yes.
of poor leadership
Forever and
forever
ever.
and ever, both from the family, the church, and the political sphere.
So it is not enough just to say leaders are corrupt.
Yeah.
The society must also look at themselves.
Yes.
And the church must look at themselves.
And hold the corrupt to
Leaders
account.
accountable.
Yes.
You know, when we were speaking, I remember the scripture that says, "Woe unto him who calls good evil and evil good."
That is in Isaiah.
And I wonder whether many of us have not been found there, whereby we are calling evil good and good evil.
I was looking at the book of Psalm.
Yes.
And then when I was looking at the book of Psalm 36, it begins by talking about wicked people.
Yes.
And these wicked people, they are so wicked, they don't care. They even flatter themselves.
Yes.
And then I read in the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse number 1, it says, these people, even when they are on their bed,
Yes.
they are scheming on
They
how
are
to
plotting.
do evil and to do and go ahead and execute it.
Yes.
And in the book of Proverbs, it says, if they don't commit evil, they will not even sleep.
Wow.
So if we have this kind of people in leadership, what do you expect? People who can steal money meant for COVID. People who can steal money meant for medication of the people.
Prevention and
Yes.
the protection of the doctors. Frontline workers.
Frontline workers.
And we are taking the money
And
away
we're
from
taking,
them.
we are putting the money in our pocket.
Isn't it that evil?
When a minister stands and says, this house you see here, this house, this half your house, is full of these people. When the president says, even in my own state house,
There are thieves.
There are thieves. It's like we are throwing our hands in the air.
Wow.
Pick them.
Wow.
Deal
Wow.
with them.
Man of God, thank you so much. And what we are learning in this segment is that we have leadership breakdown in the society and in our country. And we are finding out that leadership is not about how much wealth you have, but leadership is also taking a group from where they are to their desired goals. But because of leadership breakdown and failure to understand what leadership is, then we have found leaders going to many, many other things, and bad leadership is killing the society and bringing a lot of suffering. We are taking a short break. We will be back shortly. Welcome back to the Leadership Challenge show that I bring to you, Reverend Kavoi. In the last two sessions, we were dealing with very grave matters of leadership. Now, we want to go ahead now and discuss, because I have heard Kenyans say, when people are seeking for leadership positions, they are good. When they enter into the leadership, problem appears to be beginning. And the same people that were telling us, when we go there, you'll never see this problem. When I go there, you'll never see this problem. They go there and they keep quiet. Are there pitfalls in leadership? Are there things that come and hinder the people in leadership positions? Help us understand this.
When we talk about pitfalls, we are actually talking about the unexpected snares, the unexpected dangers on the way of the leader. When he's coming into the leadership, sometimes we have no idea that there are those dangers. And we think because probably we have been elected or we have been appointed, everybody will clap for us. But we find the hidden dangers along the way, mines that are planted there by other people.
Yes.
You find then there is opposition that you didn't expect.
Yes.
Sometimes the person who helped you probably to clinch the position that you are now in is the same person who is now trying to destroy you. And to the point now, you begin now to start fighting people instead of serving the people.
Okay.
And unfortunately, again, then you find that you are being intimidated even with people who supported you. You are not seeing that. As you are entering into leadership, you thought everybody will clap hands for you.
So,
but the unexpected begins to happen.
So
some of them could be people fighting you. Some of them could be yourself feeling insecure. You have found out that now the responsibilities are heavier than you thought they were. Whether at home, whether in the church, or whether at the political or the civic leadership, you find things are not what you thought they were. You find now you have power, then you start misuse of power, so to speak. Your integrity goes low. So these are some of the things, and people planned scandals against you. So you find you spend your time fighting scandals. You spend your time defending yourself to the point that you lose sight of the vision.
So it is clear now in the journey of leadership, there are certain obstacles that the leader might not have been seeing, but all of a sudden they will be there.
They will be there.
And it's also clear that if they will fall into those pitfalls, their leadership will be affected. Their leadership will be hindered. What are some of these pitfalls? Can we say integrity, for example, is a pitfall? Integrity issues where you begin to find people looking for wealth rather than delivering leadership to the people who elected them.
Let me ask you, why will they not look for wealth instead of serving you if they bought you? They gave you money to elect them. They need to recoup that money.
Or they need to refund themselves the same money they spend on you.
So you encourage them to steal, to give to you, and then you elect them. And then you expect anything good from them?
Yes.
You are lying to yourself.
Yes. So corruption sometimes is like embedded in the whole system right from the beginning.
Yes. And not just that, you may not even be a corrupt leader, so to speak.
Yes.
But when you reach there and you are like an indictment to the corrupt, they start blackmailing you.
Yes.
We have seen cases where arms have been planted in somebody's office. He is doing this, or bad things, or monies. You are setups.
Because you are clean, they must change you so that you look like them.
You look like them.
that you will not oppose the bad thing you wanted to oppose.
You shut up.
And that is happening a lot.
I read somewhere in the book of Isaiah, chapter number 59.
Yes.
Those who want to do good find themselves to be a prey.
Yes.
You are now the person who they will attack. Paul, writing to Timothy, says, if you want to live a good life, a clean life, be prepared for persecution. But how many leaders will be prepared to be persecuted instead of giving in because of the power
you are saying that for some and many leaders, it is dangerous to uphold integrity in our time? Is that what you're saying?
Most of them have been, hunted out of office because of issues of integrity.
But help me understand. Did Jesus say, be contented with your salary?
He said that. But now, you see...
do these leaders have salaries?
They do.
Because that is not the money we are talking about.
Yes.
They are well paid.
Well paid.
With emoluments, sitting allowances.
Allowances.
But they go ahead and begin to steal.
Go ahead, begin to steal. Because they bought you. They gave you money before they were elected.
If we are talking about integrity issues, is it a most likely thing that will happen to any leader that rises in this country?
Be ready to suffer. Be willing to suffer.
Yes.
To be called all the names that you are being called, but stick to integrity.
Yes.
Integrity is expensive. It's expensive.
Wow.
It may cost your job.
Wow.
It may cost your life. It may cost your reputation.
Yes.
So we need a people who say, come what may, I'll be an intercross man. But how many of us want to go to that level? Leave alone these big things we are talking about.
So we are agreeing that corruption Integrity issues are a pitfall that many leaders are fallen into.
They didn't know. They didn't know that when they reach there.
Yes.
And some, as they reach there, now corruption aside, they now start enjoying power.
Oh, yes.
They start now enjoying, misusing their power.
Pride.
Pride comes in.
Yes.
Stepping on those whom they feel their opponents.
Trampling them
down.
Yes.
Destroying others by use of money. Acquiring their plots when they are around. To get them out of the way.
Yes.
And all those bad things begin to happen. Unfortunately, it's very saddening to say that these things are happening even in the church. Even in the church, poisoning that person whom you think is
indeed.
Planting, for example, monies in their offices,
yes.
Blackmailing them that we have this video. If you don't do, we shall. So you find, as I have said, it becomes very expensive. So are we really willing to suffer for our leadership?
Okay.
For integrity, so that
Wow.
to speak.
Because I know the viewer is very interested with what we are talking about. Because when will our leaders do the right thing? They are not able to do the right thing because they fell by the wayside. They thought they have gone to bring us development in the village. Then when they went there, they found out that out there people live in a certain way. And they betrayed the electorate, the people that elected them, and they fell into the allurements of money and power, trappings of power,
prestige,
and they forgot the people, and they forgot actually the purpose of their being there. Because I don't believe there's a leader who is in leadership for anything else. Any leader who is in leadership to deliver good leadership to the people and move the group, if it's a constituency or an organization, towards their desired goals. But now you find they reach there and they fall into allurements of money and pride and all these things, and they are not able to deliver. We want to conclude this discussion, and in just a few points, let's wrap it up when it comes to leadership and the leadership challenge that we have in our society.
I wanted to say, as we finish, that some of them don't step out into leadership so as to become thieves. They don't step out into leadership. They have good intentions.
Yeah.
Solomon is an example.
Yeah.
Had very good intention.
Yeah.
Hosea was an example.
Yeah.
Very good intention. It is not the beginning that matters.
Yes.
It is how we end that will really matter.
Yes.
And the Bible says they served God until the what? Until changes the matrix.
Oh.
Until power came.
Yes.
Until they became famous.
Yes.
They started writing their own rules. When you begin to get power, they say power corrupts.
Power corrupts.
And absolute power corrupts completely. And that's
Yes.
why we want to do away with the imperial presidency.
Yes.
And that's why we want to have even our own leaders at the church level accountable
Yes.
to the membership.
To the membership.
Even family.
Yes.
And a good example of a man who stood up, Samuel,
Yes.
and looked people in the eye. Yes, you want me out.
Yes.
But I want any one of you, any one of you to stand.
Yes. And say
that
when
I
I've taken their
yes.
cattle, their goat,
Yes.
their sheep.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm looking for that kind of leader. I pray I am the one. I pray you are the one. I pray you become the one.
That's it. That's very powerful, very powerful. We are wrapping up this segment and this show today, and we appreciate you so much for coming to be together with us.
You're most welcome.
We have found out that indeed there are big, enormous challenges when it comes to leadership, and we continue to pray. And for leaders who have watched this program, I believe they are learning and they are questioning and interrogating themselves so that they may be the people that they were elected to be and deliver the leadership the people are expecting. And I believe as we continue to discuss about leadership here, we will see improvement in the leadership in our country. Thank you so much for joining this show, and thank you, Reverend Ken Akweyu, for being together with us, and be rest assured we'll be calling you again. Thank you so much for being together with us.
Once again, most welcome.
Thank you. That was the Leadership Challenge Show today. And I believe time has come for us to seriously think about leadership. And also for those who are in leadership, we must come to the place where we ask ourselves whether we understand the work that we are called to do. We understand what leadership is. Because unless we understand what leadership is, then we will not be able to lead in a way that can bring transformation in the society. So wherever you have watched this show, you need to begin to challenge every leader that is you call your leader, because they must appear to know where they're taking you. We have suffered as a society because leaders don't care to be the person they are supposed to be. And so we have found out that a leader must know where they are going. If you do not know the needs of your organization or the group you are leading, most likely you will lose them on the way and you will not take them to where they are supposed to go. We have talked about many things, and I want you to look out for this same program in these few coming days. We will be here again to talk more on the leadership challenge in our society. Otherwise, for now, we call it a day, and keep on watching the rest of the program here at EBN TV. My name's Reverend Felix Kavoi, and God bless you.